Welcome to the Fear and Greed Afternoon Report for Thursday, the 3rd of March 2022. I'm Sean Aylmer. Every afternoon, we bring you the 5 news items that you need to know about today. Story number 1 is financial markets. The S&P ASX 200 finished the day up 0.5% to 7,151 points. That followed a very strong night on Wall Street, where both the S&P 500 and Nasdaq 100 closed up around 1.8%. Again, it was the energy and materials companies leading the way. That's because there have been some big moves in commodity prices. Gas prices jumped 50% today on the back of fears of disruption out of Russia. Thermal coal prices are at record highs and oil is above $115 a barrel. Iron ore prices and wheat prices are also higher. The laggards today were consumer staples and healthcare stocks, as well as technology and telco companies to a lesser extent. Story number 2 is all about the floods in Sydney. More than 500,000 people have now been told to evacuate in and around the city as the rain keeps falling. It's wet from the Queensland border all the way along the coast to the Victorian border, and because so much rain has fallen, it only takes a few millimetres for floodwaters to start rising again. But at least the predictions of 200 millimetres fail to materialise in the Sydney Basin. Banks said they'll allow flood-affected customers to pause mortgage, credit card and some business loan repayments. Westpac also offered $3,000 cash grants to certain customers. Treasurer Josh Frydenberg said the floods will cost billions of dollars. And southeast Queensland is receiving more rain as well, with warnings issued for severe thunderstorms, damaging winds and large hail. Premier Anastasia Palaszczuk called the conditions extremely unstable, and rivers, unfortunately, are once again rising. Story number 3. Russian troops have captured the strategically important city of Kherson in the south of Ukraine, the first major city to be taken. Russian officers commandeered the city hall and plan to establish an administrative centre there. Russia also told the International Atomic Agency that its military had taken control of Ukraine's biggest nuclear power plant, or at least the area around it. Troops continue to make their way towards capital Kyiv and second city Kharkiv. Also, Moscow conceded it had lost almost 500 troops and around 1,600 have been injured, though Ukraine officials say the numbers are much higher. It comes as it emerged that senior Chinese officials told Russian authorities not to invade Ukraine until after the Beijing Winter Olympics finished. Story number 4 is about social media influencers. The competition watchdog wants to crack down on influencers who fail to disclose they're being paid for promoting goods, on fake online reviews, and on retailers who use false low stock warnings to drive digital sales. The boss of the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission, Rod Sims, last year took on the social media companies themselves, and now its influencers, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, are all in his sights. And story number 5 is about the fallout from the war in Ukraine. We've seen Apple and Nike stop selling products into Russia. Oil giants and miners have deserted the country. Now, Russian-born billionaire Roman Abramovich has put the London-based Chelsea Football Club up for sale for about $7.35 billion, having owned it for 19 years. He's waived the £1.5 billion the club owes him and will donate the proceeds of the sale to victims of the war. Wealthy Russians with assets in the West are under increasing pressure because of their association with the Putin regime. Abramovich made his fortune during the 1990s after the collapse of the Soviet Union by acquiring privatised oil and gas assets from the state and then selling them back to the Kremlin at a very large profit. That's it for the afternoon report for Thursday, the 3rd of March 2022. Don't forget to hit follow on the podcast and find Fear and Greed on LinkedIn, Twitter and Facebook. Join Michael Thompson and I tomorrow morning for the Friday Fast 5 by Fear and Greed. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your evening.